I have a piece of land that 4 different builders have already walked away from. What is the complaint? Too narrow on one side, angled where it shouldn't be, backs up to 2 streets instead of 1. Every builder told me the same thing. This lot is basically unbuildable, at least not without paying double for engineering. They were wrong. Not about the lot, about the shape they were trying to force onto it. Because the second you stop drawing a rectangle on that property and draw a V instead, that unbuildable lot becomes one of the best positioned properties on the block. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why that works and exactly where a V-shaped build will hurt you if you get it wrong, because it can. Stick with me. The real problem. Here's what nobody tells you when you start shopping for land. Almost every Barndominium floor plan you've ever scrolled past online, every stock plan, every kit package on every builder's website was drawn for one specific kind of property, a flat rectangle. Plenty of width, nothing weird about the boundary lines. That's the assumption baked into the vast majority of plans being sold right now. So the second your lot doesn't look like that, a corner lot, a narrow lot, a pie-shaped lot flaring off a cul-de-sac, the plan simply stops fitting. And instead of a builder telling you honestly, we need a different shape for this, most of them just tell you the lot is the problem. It isn't. The rectangle is the problem. The lot never changed. The plan just wasn't built for it. What actually makes a lot bad? Let's define this properly, because bad lot isn't one thing. It's usually one of 2 very specific zoning situations. A corner lot is treated completely differently under almost every zoning code in the country. On a normal interior lot, you've got 1 front setback and 2 side setbacks. Cross onto a corner lot, and now both street-facing sides get treated as front yards. That typically pulls 20 to 30 feet of dead, unbuildable space off 2 sides of the property instead of just 1. And in a lot of jurisdictions, there's a visibility triangle stacked on top of that, restricting how close you can build to the actual intersection at all. 2 front setbacks eating into your buildable space from 2 directions. That's not a rumor. That's how the ordinance is written in most cities. A triangular or pie-shaped lot, usually the one sitting on a cul-de-sac bulb, has the opposite problem. The buildable envelope tapers to a point at the street and widens out toward the back. Drop a rectangle onto a taper like that, and you're forced to size the whole house to fit the narrowest point, which leaves the widest, most usable part of the property sitting there doing nothing. That's the actual math behind why builders say no. It was never that the dirt was bad, it's that a rectangle physically cannot obey that geometry without wasting a huge chunk of what you paid for. The fix. Introducing the V-shape. Here's where it gets interesting, because a floor plan shape was essentially built to solve this exact problem, and it's been used in custom architecture for years before Barndominium builders started catching on to it. A V-shaped home is exactly what it sounds like. 2 wings of the house set at an angle to each other instead of running in one straight line, meeting at a point. Some architects call it a boomerang plan. On paper, it almost looks like a pair of open scissors. And the reason it matters for a difficult lot comes down to simple geometry. Instead of forcing one rigid rectangular box to fight your property lines, you're running 2 shorter legs, and each leg gets to follow a different property line instead of ignoring it. Take that corner lot problem from a minute ago. 2 front setbacks chewing into your buildable space from 2 directions. A V-shaped design puts the point of the V toward the street corner itself, pulled back behind both required setback lines, and lets each wing run parallel to one of the 2 frontages. You're not fighting the setback lines anymore, you're following them. That's what actually buys you the privacy. The 2 solid wings sit between the streets and the rest of the house, acting like a shield. The open side of the V, the mouth where the courtyard lives, faces the back interior of the lot, away from both streets. You see this exact trick in real boomerang plan homes even without a corner lot problem to solve. One build outside Austin deliberately angled its solid wing toward a busy road for privacy, while the open side faced the view. On a corner lot, you're doing the same move against 2 streets instead of 1. And this isn't just theory. There's a documented case, a home in Singapore called the V House, built on a sharply tapering triangular corner site. The architect said it plainly. The geometry of that site made a standard rectangular plan effectively impossible. The V was the only floor plan that could actually use the whole lot instead of fighting it. Same logic mirrored on a pie-shaped cul-de-sac lot. Those lots are narrow at the street and flare out wide toward the back, exactly backwards from what a rectangle wants. Point the vertex of the V toward the narrow street frontage and let the 2 wings fan open toward the wide back of the property. Now you're building into the part of the lot a rectangle would have simply ignored. It's not magic, it's the only shape that actually agrees with the property line instead of arguing with it. And there's a bonus most people don't even think to ask for. Those 2 angled wings behave like a windbreak and a sunshield at the same time. Point the vertex of the V into your prevailing wind direction and the 2 wings physically deflect it away from your outdoor living space instead of funneling it straight through your porch. In a hot climate, orient the solid mass of those same 2 wings toward your harshest sun exposure. For most of the US, that's the low western afternoon sun, and keep the open mouth of the courtyard on the shaded side. None of that's a new trick. Courtyard homes and dog-trot barndominiums have leaned on the same wind and shade logic for generations. The V just does it on a tighter, more efficient footprint. But here's the part every glossy rendering conveniently leaves out. The V shape has a real cost. And if a builder doesn't say this part out loud before you sign anything, that's your red flag. Stick around, because this next section is the difference between a V-shaped barndominium that performs beautifully for 30 years and one that starts leaking in year 3. The honest trade-offs. Every corner you add to a floor plan costs money. That's not an opinion, that's how framing and foundation pricing actually works. Builders who track this closely have documented a simple 4-corner rectangular home running around $180 a square foot, jumping to roughly $220 a square foot, with 16 corners. Same square footage, same finish level, just more angles to frame, more foundation perimeter to pour, and more roofline to flash.
A V-shaped home isn't as extreme as a 16-corner Craftsman, but you are adding corners a straight rectangle never had, plus one very specific detail, the inside angle where the 2 wings meet. That intersection almost always means a roof valley. Literally, 2 roof planes colliding and funneling water down into a single channel. Roof valleys are one of the most common places a roof fails, regardless of house shape, right up there with the flashing around chimneys and skylights. On a V-shaped barndominium, that valley is doing double duty, structurally and visually, so if the flashing detail there isn't engineered and installed correctly, that inside corner is exactly where you'll be chasing a leak 5 years from now. There's a livability cost too, and it rarely makes it into the brochure. 2 wings running off at an angle means your HVAC system is conditioning 2 zones that don't share a straight duct run, which usually means slightly larger equipment or a second zone entirely. And that dramatic angled room right at the vertex, the one every rendering shows with a huge wraparound window, is also the hardest room in the house to put a normal rectangular piece of furniture into. Fantastic for a great room, genuinely annoying for a bedroom. In real dollar terms, for barndominium construction specifically, most finished builds in 2026 are landing somewhere between $100 and $200 a square foot, depending on region and finish level. A well-executed V, 1 clean valley, 2 straightforward wings, should sit comfortably in the low to mid-end of that range. Where people get hurt is when the V quietly turns into a Y or an X, picking up a 3rd or 4th wing because it looked good in a rendering. That's when the price climbs toward $220 plus a square foot on a lot that was telling you to build smart, not busy. How to do it right. So if a V-shape genuinely is the right call for your lot, and on a corner lot or a tapered lot it usually is, here's what separates the ones that age well from the ones that don't. Keep it to 2 wings, not 3, not 4.
Let the roofline actually change pitch or direction at the valley instead of trying to disguise the transition. A valley that's designed to be a valley sheds water far better than one that's pretending not to be one. Use a standing seam metal roof at that intersection specifically. It handles concentrated water flow better than shingles, and it's already the material most Barndominium roofs are built with anyway, so it's not even an upcharge. And talk to your structural engineer about that vertex room before you fall in love with the rendering. Decide up front whether it's a great room that can absorb an odd angle beautifully, or a bedroom that's going to fight you on furniture placement for the next 20 years.
So back to that lot we opened with. 4 builders walked away from it because every one of them was holding up a rectangle against a piece of land that was never going to accept one. The lot was never the problem. A rectangle is simply the easiest shape for the builder. It isn't automatically the smartest shape for your property. Those get sold to you as the same conversation, and they're not. The moment you stop asking what plan fits my budget and start asking what shape actually agrees with my property lines, a corner lot or a pie-shaped lot stops being a discount problem and starts being the reason your home has privacy, shade, and street presence a rectangle on a perfectly normal lot could never give you. If you're sitting on a lot right now that every builder keeps calling difficult, put the shape in the comments. Corner, triangular, narrow, whatever it is, and I'll tell you honestly whether a V shape is actually the fix, because it isn't always the right call. Sometimes it's an L, sometimes it's nothing fancy at all. And if this just saved you from writing off a piece of land you actually love, the next video breaks down a lot shape that's even harder to build on than this one. The flag lot almost nobody wants to touch, and the one floor plan that makes it work. Subscribe so you don't miss it.